And actually, this seems really appropriate because what I'm about to talk about, we all know, but no one's paying attention to. So, I actually wanted to come to you today because I've been thinking about this quite a bit, and especially after developing this Rust library and going through all the crazy math stuff to make it work. Um, so what I have pulled up behind me right here, behind me on the screen, is a book, actually a video, right? Why Japan is weak in software and what happened to the tech superpower. And this is something that we kind of talk about a little bit because I think it really applies in a really big way to the things that we're seeing here today in the AI industry. Okay. So first of all, this book is nothing new. This was actually done during the Reagan era. And you can see it says here artificial intelligence and Japan. All right. That is not what you expect today in 2026. So I would definitely recommend watching this video, and I'm going to leave the link below because what the points that they make in this are actually the things we're seeing today in the hardware aspects in the AI industry. Okay. So to start with, you have to think about the whole thing like a table. Okay. Um, and this analogy, people use this in business and stuff all the time to explain things about stability. Okay. So we have a tabletop, and let's say that's the debt or size of the AI industry, right? Calculating everything in. Now, this tabletop, it's got to have legs, right? And so it has usually four legs because if you're going to have a tabletop that's going to expand and grow and get bigger, let's say it's like you just add parts and it just gets bigger. Don't get too deep into it. Then you need more stability, right? And anyone will tell you three legs is enough, but four legs, and if you're gonna get bigger, you need some on the other ends, 5 to 10 legs, depending on what. Anyway, so the point being that right now this tabletop consists of NVIDIA, right, in the center, with AMD kind of off to the side trying to get in, and many of you have seen the loop financing stuff, and I'll get into that in a sec and where that lies. But this all comes down to this infrastructure play that everyone's pushing for right now. That's really, and the financing behind it that's really driving all the rest of the stuff. And it's scary because I worked at WorldCom before they got arrested, essentially. I lived through Enron and stuff like that. I wasn't involved there, but I wasn't involved in WorldCom either. I told them, no, you guys have big opportunity. Trying to cash out on your stocks and stuff is not a good idea. But anyway, so this video talks about how Japan in the 80s was the superpower. They were uh, charging themselves with becoming this technology superpower, right? And they did. They did really great. But what they forgot is that the way that technology flows, the cycle of it, right? Everything is big at first, right? And then it becomes smaller and more catered to a single person because that becomes the more mass adoption. A really great technology to study in this is actually trains, right? Trains had their big up and they had their big down, but they still moved and existed because of the infrastructure. So they moved a lot of data, a lot of people. Think about like moving data. But eventually that moved to cars, right? Because that became, in a more broader sense, the responsibility of maintenance goes on to one person, all these things, it becomes distributed. So the weight of that thing in our society. So same as with software, right? If we go through and review the history of software, we will find that it always started out really big, right? I don't even need to tell you if you're watching this video because you probably already understand that. And then we found ways, usually through software and in other ways through hardware, to miniaturize and modularize things, right? So the approach that NVIDIA is taking right now is very, because obviously they're a chip company, is to essentially push the chips and support the development of the models, right? Not necessarily the architectural development, but at least the models, because the models run on their chips, and so that equates to more sales of their chips, and they have probably a plan years and years out for different AI designs and stuff. I work with some people that were at Intel, and man, I'll tell you, those guys, they've got plans. So, but essentially, what's happening is, so NVIDIA wants to make the chips, right? So again, we have the table, all right? So we have NVIDIA, they're one leg, they make the chips. Don't, pervs. We have one leg, NVIDIA makes the chips, and then they need another leg. So they have a company like OpenAI, Anthropic, or any of those frontier companies. That's another leg, right? And so now we got some support on this table, and we're only going to fall one way. Well, so then we have the third leg, right? Which isn't your consumer. The third leg is actually your app builders, the ones that build on top of OpenAI, Anthropics, and their stuff, right? So then you have the fourth leg, which is your consumer, right? This is all the support that keeps this market, this tabletop market, from falling over, okay? So here's the fallacy in this one, okay? So first of all, from the 80s, we can learn that if you just focus in one area like hardware and you think you're just going to give software away, you will get eaten by the software as it advances, modularizes, and actually commoditizes your hardware. Okay? You're going to get eaten by it. That's just all there is to it. And I know because I'm making that software to eat you. Anyway. So in addition to that, in this instance, we have the bubbles, right? The financial .com bubble type situation, which is huge. And it's not just a financial .com bubble. It's a bubble where the investment has gone into supporting each of these legs circularly. So you might even think that, we got this nice little ring where we hold the legs all tight together, right? It gives us better stability. But now this tabletop's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And the legs can only be here, instead of going out with the tabletop at their respective points. And this actually becomes highly detrimental with the way in which all of these companies operate with each other. First of all, not the consumer. The consumer just wants to use the shit, right? I just want to ask a question. I want to get an answer. Why is it so hard? And where's Google? I want my Google back. Anyway, so, and that's fine. However, if you go 2 legs up to OpenAI, who makes the models, they just said, hey, we're going to eat the consumer. Right? We're gonna ruin all your jobs. We're gonna fucking take all your land. We're gonna take your power and your water, right? And NVIDIA is in on this too, because they're the ones that make the hardware that goes in the data centers, right? It's one of the most expensive parts. And if you don't believe that, just ask yourself, if it costs them $1 billion to make a model, why are they giving away the weights and just letting people run it for free? Because they see no value in the software, right? They only see value in the hardware, and they're all working the same infrastructure play, hoping what Japan did won't happen again. But so we have this insane amount of money in here, and that makes this tabletop way bigger, right? But at the same time, they're all bound together. They're not able to move in their own separate directions. And now you have OpenAI saying, we're going to cut this leg off over here that pays us money to be in business. Oh, wait, we're going to be utility. Who's going to pay you? Your AI took all our jobs. They took our jobs! I don't know if you guys watch South Park, but I love that one. So we could say it's like not cut off, but it's really weak. Like if you ever had a leg where on a table where you're like missing the nut, right? And it slides in air holes, but if you hit it the wrong way, that thing's gonna fucking collapse. That's what we're looking at. So then it gets even worse, right? Because now we've got these people making apps. They're trying to sell the apps with the AI in it to the consumer. The consumer's getting freaked out, going, no, man, you're going to take my job. I want to support your stuff, right? So they're having a hard time. So then to make that whole market look better, where your consultant end sits, OpenAI and Anthropic and all of them have decided they're going to cannibalize this other leg. They're going to start chipping away and cutting away at that leg, right? So now you have this big tabletop with two weak legs. You getting the idea? Make it even worse. NVIDIA gives away for free open weight models to anyone that wants to run them, right? That rival the other leg of model makers. Right? And they're like, we're all going to make money on infrastructure. No. NVIDIA is the only one truly set up to make money on infrastructure. All the rest of them are set up to be basically like data, like a compute broker, right? Like if you ever studied energy brokering, you'll understand what I mean. That's basically what they're doing. And so it becomes a whole thing, you might say, where NVIDIA is cannibalizing their partners who make the models that make the value for their chips, right? And they've convinced everybody to give away these models. They're like, the models are worthless, they're just basically like a big lighter. Once it's out of date, out of fluid, you toss it, we get you a new one, right? It's all about the hardware. Forget the software. But in doing this, they've missed a lot. This is what this has shown me, is that because they've dipped so hard and they're not really paying attention to the software, just like Japan, if you watch this video, their software was stuck in the age of Prolog, which, oh my God. I like Lisp. Lisp was cool. I'd rather write that all day, to be honest with you. And there's even one where the guy made a shorthand language that I thought was pretty badass, but I didn't feel like learning it. So it was sick, though. I was like, wow, your code would be so tiny and easy to read. Anyway, so they're doing the same thing, right? They're devaluing the software to value the hardware and put all the money into the hardware cap. But history, cycles, the way that people and the way that things work have shown us that that's not going to happen. What happens is, and depending on how large you build into it, at this point, we're in the trillions of dollars, people. So what we know will happen, just from the way things go, is this isn't necessarily a bubble as much as it is a lack of historical understanding and perception, right? Because there's nothing that stops this. There's nothing that stops software eating the hardware. We already know this. It happened. We've seen it over and over and over again. We know this is going to happen. I'm doing it right now, actually, in a lot of different ways. As a matter of fact, my new stuff that I've been working on, finally got it fixed. Oh, so pissed. Anyway, now it's working great, and I'm getting it set up so I can load and test it on tablets and cell phones, because it actually looks like the way I'm doing things, it will run faster on a tablet or a cell phone, because the storage and the RAM are both right there. I mean, they're like, that's the shortest distance you could, a phone. I mean, come on. So, so the transfer rates will be a lot higher, and looking at it so far, it looks like, yeah, it should work, actually work better. The big drawback I have right now on the whole thing is the PCIe bus. It's killing me on the transfer rates. Even if I break up the data and send it in burst stacks back and forth, and it's just, I've done so many different configs, it just does not work. I mean, there are certain limitations that exist in how the things function, which is why I'm actually looking at trying to get money up so I can get a FPGA board, like an Ultrix 7 or something, which would be cool. Because for my stuff, those are more ideal. We can actually have each cell on the FPGA be a compute component within the whole structure of the AI as well as the OS. It's that light. But I digress. So that's not what I'm here to talk about. Back to the NVIDIA stuff. Basically, so NVIDIA, we have this table, right? NVIDIA is gnawing at the leg that helps support them to start the table, right? Because if you have a two-leg table, it's just, you got to put it against the wall, right? Yeah, I live poor. So what? I got two-leg table. I've had a one leg table. It just has a base. So um, they're chewing off the one leg. And at the same time, OpenAI, Anthropic, and all these guys providing the models are telling you there's no value in the models, but we're going to sell you the models. But a bunch of companies are going to give away the models. The value's in the compute. So we're gonna chomp at the bit on the people that help us promote in the front end, our consultant base, our app developer base. We're gonna chomp on their bit and knock them down. And then on the whole, we're telling everyone that we're gonna take their jobs and it won't matter because you won't be able to pay for it all anyway. So yeah. So if you think about it, it becomes very obvious as to why I am doing the things that I'm doing, like building this. And the Forge works a lot better now. Oh my goodness. We're actually supporting a few different models under ours. Legacy, I have to test some of these, but honestly, I'm really not into it. My stuff is smaller, lighter, has a higher density because of the way it's the architecture I'm using. And it actually, though, when working with the standard models, I did learn a lot, right? So this app actually runs off of my custom Rust library for AI, which to this point to point, doesn't just rival Python. I have a nice little graph chart I can get you that shows you how it whoops its ass. No, it's good. I like Python. Don't, guys, chill out, chill out. It's good for its stuff, but I just had to make something lighter. I had to make something that would work better. And so, in addition to that, as soon as I get some of these things done here, I'm ready to port it over into the operating system, which I have a couple little driver things I have to take care of. But oh man, I love this thing. It's like I love just playing with it. I can't wait to actually be like using it as my daily driver. You see that little white? You see that little square? Little square. It's actually supposed to be a little orby, sparkly thing. That's an app right here. Let me click it. Wake up. Oh my brook, I have to add that again. I'm doing so much UI work taking. There we go. I don't have to work on the hitbox for that. Because it's supposed to be an orb, so the square throws it off. Anyway, so yeah, so you pop that thing open. Oh, it's so much fun. And this is all done bare metal Rust. This is no GPU, just running on the CPU. Um, I do have like 250 on running through on whatchamacallit, but it's not optimizing the GPU. But on optimizing GPU, on the plus side of that, and I'll wrap this up because I'm almost at 20 minutes. I try to keep it 20 or less. I actually have this app ready to begin porting into Android because, like I said earlier, it looks like it'll run better on a mobile platform, like faster calcs, faster transfers. So we'll see. We'll see. I can't say faster calcs. They're the ARM chips and stuff, but I'm plugging in the GPU, the Adrenos, and trying to get access to the MPU a little directly. So it should kick up pretty good here. We'll see. I'll let you know. But that's my thing. So NVIDIA, tabletop, real big. NVIDIA, Frontier Labs. Um, yeah, the app builders. It looks like I'm milking a cow here. Uh, Milking a cow, I said. The app builders, the communities, right? The society. We're cutting society, telling them we're going to take their jobs. OpenAI is cutting the app builders by making stuff that competes directly with them, right, on the models. And then you got NVIDIA, who's invested in all these companies, who has access to the IP, and who, if these companies go tits up, gets all the IP, who is essentially giving away frontier grade models, disrupting that whole financial area. So yeah, I don't understand how that's going to be stable, but I'm already setting myself up for the next wave because the next wave is the software eats the hardware, right? And I've already done that. So it's such a leeway. It's so crazy. It's so fast. Anyway, so I will talk to you guys later, and hopefully that helped you a little perspective on the market of artificial intelligence.